Hello there everybody, welcome back to yet another Photoshop tutorial. This time around we're going to be doing something a little different than usual. As you could have probably seen from the title, today we're going to be making memes. Well, probably not the memes themselves, but the templates, and from there you can adjust and tinker as you see fit. So as you can see right here, I have a blank page, but what's this on the side? It's exactly what you think it is, it's a bunch of different templates for my memes. This are regular slots. As you can see, different styles. Obviously, this doesn't cover all the formats memes would come in, but I will add on or edit as I need to get the desired formats. So you may be wondering where I upload these. As you can see from the style, it's distinctly ours, because nobody else uses Tokyo fonts or this color. Generally, it's just completely black, but this color isn't quite at that point, and most people just use basic fonts. I try to keep it fun. As you can see here, there's one right there, there's one right here. And you can see it's distinctly our style of meme. There's one here too. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this, and I'm going to be showing you how to make these. Obviously, it is really simple, but if you have Photoshop and you make memes even occasionally, it's nice to have just all these different templates you can just pop up about how to make something new every single time. So the first thing we're going to do is make a new file. The size you want it to be 8 by 8 inches. This will ensure that you have not too large of a file, but also large enough that you still have high quality images. Because you don't want to end up with those .jpeg files that somebody's uploaded or re-uploaded and saved at 200 pixels and blew up to 800 pixels, and now it's a mess. You don't want that sort of thing. So we're not going to be doing that. So let me just this will be our background layer right here. Backgrounds layer, and let's lock it again. Next thing you want to do is hit Control G and group that. And what styles do we have here? We have regular, so let's name this regular. I don't actually have any memes on hand, so I just have to come back over here and steal from this. And let me get the correct color. I recommend using a different color. We can do different variations of this. This is just 313131. But it's something that helps it stand out, and it will be kind of like your trademark, so people see it and they know that it's yours. So we're going to go ahead and grab this image, drag it over, and generally what you want to do is have it take up a good portion of the slot, because your text doesn't really take up a lot. It will probably take up this much space at most. So I like to have it just about here. That works fine for me. And we'll name this image slots. I mean, you could always spice it up by adding a stroke to it around the top edge. Let's see. That is not what I wanted. Oh, there. Maybe you wanted a red stroke or something along the top to help it stand out more. I don't know. I like to keep it simple because at the end of the day, it's just a meme we're going to glance at for 2 seconds. It doesn't have to be beautiful, but if you want, you can add strokes and stuff to help it stand out more. I'll just leave the stroke there for now because I already added it. So I got 313131. Drag that to the bottom. Let's make this all yellow because we've already started that. And this will be our insert your text here. And it's probably better if you use it to the side, but I like to keep it centered because I feel like it looks better that way. And look at that. And we can make the text bigger or smaller as we see fit. And to drag this, the font slider, I'm just holding Control. I'm dragging left and right on my mouse button. Alright, so our first template is done. Then we can move on to the next one. That's a regular. I'm just going to make, actually, let's do Control J. So we just copy that over. And what's the next one that we want to make? Comparison. This is a little bit better because most people don't do this sort of thing. Let me clear that layer style right there. And what we're going to do is make a rounded rectangle. Might as well keep it in the same size. Actually, we're going to have to bump this up a bit. Because for this one, we're not going to be using as large of text and not going to have as much text space. It's going to be sort of pushed to the top. Just like that. Because we want the most of the frame to be taken up by our image. Grab that stroke. I don't know why it keeps on defaulting to that. It's sort of annoying. And we're going to adjust the edges to make them more curved. And once again, I'm just holding control over here. And it's going to adjust all of them, so don't worry too much about that. Alright, just like that. Make sure it's all centered. And you can make it wider or less wide as you need to. This one's a bit wider. For this one, I'll leave it right here because it works fine for me. And then, let's see. Create clipping mask. And then we shall adjust as necessary. Drag that down. Keep it about the halfway point, which is right there, and I'll adjust it a bit more. As you can see, it fits perfectly fine. And what we can also do is rasterize this layer style. And then go right to the center point, hit Ctrl J, go back over here, go to the center point, hit Ctrl J, and now you have two separate spots. So you can just go just like that and it's not going to interfere. Now we have her whole face in the frame. So name this top. Actually, I'll probably give you this template I'm working on right now because it's the one I use personally isn't organized like that. So that's our text there. And we'll make this orange. And what's the next one? Sorry, I don't have my meme style is memorized. Next one, same thing. I'm using rounded squares just because I think it's nice and it stands out a bit. Because everybody else just uses boxes, this will pop a little bit. This is a comparison 4 slots, so we're going to make 4 of these about this, or they're all going to be the same size, but alright, there is one. We'll round the edges a bit, make sure our color is there. And I generally like to use a really contrasting color, so maybe you might even want to switch it to red or orange. Because then if your image isn't filled completely, like this, you see, oh hey, there's a spot that's not completely filled and you can just drag it over to fit it. And I think I made it a bit too small actually. We'll see after I paste it over a few times. So this is going to be our drop section. Copy that over. And yeah, it's a bit small. But you can always adjust it to suit your needs better. Here we go. And insert your text here. And that's going to be our 4 slot comparison. I might even just group these up just so I know it is what it is. Bottom right, bottom left, top right, then obviously top left. That one's done, and we're going to name this the 4 slot comparison. I feel like I put too much effort into my memes because nobody else does this sort of thing. Actually, I think that's the same style that we used for this one, yeah. Sometimes, as you can see here, I had a drop shadow to it. This was all white, so I just went with a drop shadow to help it pop out a little bit. Drop shadow is a bit excessive, so I wouldn't bother with it generally. For example, here you don't need it because there's obviously a contrasting between that blue and the white. But if it's all white here and all white there, I'll do a bit of a drop shadow and I'll show you how that looks. Alright, so next one we're going to do is what did I name this one? 2 slots tall. 2 slot tall. Look at that, we already have some nice little meme templates going on over here. Actually, I'll delete that stroke because most people aren't going to want it. And I'll change the text, the font, to something that says Tokyo. Mainly because the place I was using to download Tokyo apparently is using the right font. And the only other way to get Tokyo is to buy it. And I'm not too keen on uploading the Tokyo I have downloaded. because I don't really want someone coming after me for illegally sharing the Tokyo fonts. But it is called Tokyo. You'll find it pretty easily if you search it up, and if you want to buy it, you can go ahead and do that. But that's up to you. I just use some generic Comic Sans font. Honestly, I was just joking about that, but I think I will actually drop in Comic Sans. Right, for this one, it's 2 slots tall, so we're going to go like that. And once again, it's defaulting to a white stroke. Maybe a bit taller, just like that. And we can always adjust it as we need to. This is just there for a quick reference. Might make it a bit wider. That's pretty thin. I'm liking that. I feel like this will unleash my full meme potential. There we go. And for text, we're going to just drag this over there. Make it smaller, maybe. Insert your text. On there, and then one over here. And the image will be like that. It's obviously a bad image for this, but we'll turn her sideways. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, by the way, for a clipping mask, you can also do this. I'm holding Alt. I'm going right at the edge between the two. Or you can just right click, create clipping mask. You've seen me do it a few times, so you should be good with that. Alright, that's done. Actually, I'll name this right. Name this left. And what's the last one that I have? I think it was just the one on top, one on bottom. Yep. And that one is also going to be very easy. Oh, let's make this green. Let's see. I'll probably just... by the way, I'm hitting Control J to duplicate stuff. Against the idea that you guys already know how to do this, so I kind of failed to mention it, but I'm mentioning it now. And you can double click on stuff to change the name, just like that. And if you double click somewhere else, I believe it pops up layer style, yep. But we're not going to be needing that for now. So this, we can go ahead and move this right to the bottom, leave this up here, hide that for the time being, this up. Actually, I might get rid of right and just duplicate this one. I don't like, probably should curve the other one more, but I'll do that here now. Get a bit bigger. Okay, and this will be top. This shall be bottom. And it is a little on a line, so let me fix that. There we go, and we have our text to the side. Insert your text. Insert your text. And yeah, I think I actually upload this one instead of the other one because this one's a bit more detailed. You don't have all the same images that I have, but you don't really need that. Alright, that should be all for this template. I mean, there's obviously more meme styles. I just made the ones I had right over here, but they're all basically the same thing. You don't have to do rounded corners, so you could probably switch it up and add, I don't know, a white dot pattern or something, or you can, I don't know, get funky. I mean, you can add a drop shadow if you want. That's really up to you. I think it's a little excessive for this, and I only use it for certain scenarios, but I mean, if you really wanted to, it might look decent. Or you can add a stroke to pop a bit more. But you know, that's just for you to tinker with, see if you like it. I like to keep things simple. Well, for memes, I overcomplicate other stuff, but for this, I think simple is best. But that's completely up to you. I hope you all enjoy this tutorial, and Have an amazing day or evening, depending on your time zone, or if you're watching this at 2 a.m. Bye.